Hello, Mr. Newman here, your friendly brass instructor. I wanted to show you something very important, oiling the valves on your instrument. This is something that you're going to do a lot in the next few years, and it's easy, but it's also a little confusing at first, so I'm going to show you really close what it looks like. Here's your instrument. Here's my trumpet. If you play baritone euphonium, it's the same exact thing. The valves are just a little bit bigger. Here's my oil. Okay. This you don't want to get on your clothes. It comes out in the wash, but it does leave a little stain for the rest of your day, and it's gross. So make sure you are not leaning over your lap, or if you are, you're being very careful to keep the oil away from you. If you're doing it at home, you might want to do it over a piece of newspaper, or at least over the garbage can, not on expensive carpet. Okay, I'll put that to the side. This oil is blue, some are clear, doesn't matter. Here's your instrument. Let me show you a couple of things. You have 3 valves. Each one has a piston inside that you can't see, that we're going to see in a minute, that moves the air through these tubes and through different tubes. And depending on how the air travels, that changes the sound of the pitch. Each valve is different, and they have to go in not only in the right casing, valve 1, 2, and 3, but they have to be facing the right direction, otherwise the air just stops and doesn't go through. So it's very important you do them one at a time. If you take all 3 out, put all 3 back, and it doesn't work, you'll be very confused. It'll take you a long time to figure it out. This is the valve finger button right here, this little pearly looking thing. This is the valve cap, and inside here is the actual valve. So I'm going to leave the finger button alone. I'm going to undo just the cap until it is free of the instrument. Okay? Then the whole valve will come out. There's a lot of parts in here, you don't have to worry about them. If they start to come loose, probably come see your teacher. For now, we're just taking the whole valve out of the casing. Just like that, the sun comes out because it loves valves. Alright, now that this is free, what you do is just tilt your instruments just so slightly so that the valve balances on it. Okay? And you're going to put a couple of drops on that piston part that has the holes in it that look like Swiss cheese. Okay? That's it. That's all you need. If you get some on here, you can wipe it off with a cloth later. Alright? Hold the valve cap. Gently let it slide back in. You might have to give it a little tiny twist here or there, but it should fall back in. Okay. This is very important. Holding the valve cap, kind of move it up and down and twist it around so that that oil you put on the outside there gets coated inside the valve casing. That's where it needs to be nice and smooth. Twist it around. All right. I think I got everything covered. Now, take the valve cap, slowly twist until you hear that little click and it actually just sort of drops into place. I'll do it one more time. So, valve back in. There it is. Once that click is in place, the valve is situated right. You can take the cap, line it up with the threads, line the threads up with the casing, and tighten it back up. There you go. Last thing, just check to make sure the air goes through. If you go like this and nothing happens, probably just in backwards. Let me show you one more. Leave the valve cap alone. Leave the finger button alone. Unscrew just the valve cap from valve number 2. Once it's free, balance the valve like that, or you could even just take it out. A couple of drops. That's all you need. Drop it back in, holding the finger button. Twist it and move it up and down to get all the insides nice and oiled up. That should be good. Now, carefully turn the valve cap until it clicks into place. There it goes. Screw down the valve cap. Should be good to go. Let's test it. third valve also. Sometimes people ask, how often should I oil my valves? You'll know when you're pushing them down and they're slow to come back up or they feel sticky, they probably need to be oiled. Depends on how much you practice, how much you play. Also, what you can do to help not having to oil them so much is when you're playing, only have your fingertips pushing down on the valves. If your whole finger is pushing down, then it's sort of pushing the inside of the valve against the casing and it scrapes and that gets things a little scratched up and out of place. All right. One more thing. So euphonium and baritone is the same thing with the valves. On the trombone, you have to oil the slide occasionally. Mouthpiece. Don't need it right now. Here's the slide. You will have some slide oil in your case. Best way to do this is to put it on the ground or on a chair. Hold it up like that. Just put a couple of drops on the slide at a couple of places. Then work it back and forth. And you should be good to go. Same thing with the slide. When it starts to feel sticky, that's when you need to oil it. Remember, be careful with the oil. Obviously don't eat or drink it or leave it around where pets or younger brothers and sisters can get to it. Make sure when you put it back in your case that it's tightly closed and your instrument will be running smoothly. See you next time.